Hi, I'm Diane Curran of the Marketing Deal, and I wanted to just share with you a little something. I was asked recently, why did I name my company the Marketing Deal? Well, marketing because I do marketing and branding, but deal. Now that's a loaded word, especially these days. It's even been around so long in a kind of an interesting, complex way that it's got several different phrases associated with it. Oh my gosh, good deal. Oh, I'm not wanting a raw deal, or that's a bad deal, or oh my gosh, what is the deal with you? So it's a word that we oftentimes use in context of saying something is great or something's not so great. So what I decided to do was to take it on. It's a controversial word. And one of the reasons it's controversial is because it's got something else kind of underneath it that's associated with that word deal. And that is a much longer word, negotiate. Now, negotiate has its own positives and negatives, right? Usually, we oftentimes think of people who talk about negotiating as I'm a tough negotiator, I'm a great negotiator, as maybe a contest, a sort of a who's going to win and who's going to lose in a situation where people bring something to the table and then they try to figure out who's going to win and who's going to win more, or maybe who's going to end up not winning at all. So that word negotiate, it tends to actually have with it a lot of private expectations. Now, sometimes when people say, hey, I negotiated a great deal, and it's good for you and it's good for me, but there are private expectations that don't always get stated during a negotiation. And a lot of times those expectations have to do with what each person who's a party to it, or all the people who are party to it, consider to be fair and honorable. And it's not always stated up front. It may actually only be discovered after the fact when everybody has decided that the negotiation is complete and you either have a working deal or people literally see their deal fall apart. Now, it falls apart because something has caused people to feel either disrespected or it becomes suspect what the motives are of the people involved. So something is perceived as having, we'll call it a continuing conflict inside it. Let me give you an example. So sometimes little kids will decide that they want to kind of play one parent off the other. I mean, we all kind of try when we're little kids to see who's the soft touch and who's kind of the tougher one to negotiate with. So what we find is that kids don't often realize that their parents actually talk when they're not around. So the parents may have a point of view about what their child is asking for, and it may not match up based on maybe the parents have different upbringings or they have a different experience in this particular part of their childhood, or even what their kid is asking for. So they actually have to work out between them what to say, and oftentimes with the idea of presenting a united front to their child. So they actually unify the family in a way that models, if you will, stability and safety and count on ability and also predictability in the family structure and the communications that they have and the values that they stand for. So the best deal of all is when the parents actually work something out that then is based on supporting the child's growth and development such that that models great behavior for the future of not only the child learning how to become a responsible adult, but ultimately builds that kind of expectation that people work together and collaborate for the best result possible. So goodwill, that's another way of saying what is inside a deal that makes it worthy. Goodwill is worth its weight in gold. And that goodwill means that even if you think that you may not agree on 2 points, you're looking for a way to come together for the benefit of all concerned. And isn't that the best deal possible? It's true in business as well. And oftentimes in business, we have it that when someone puts pressure on us or when someone creates false scarcity, we may acquiesce to what they're saying because they think, oh my gosh, perhaps they know better and perhaps I have to kind of trust them and kind of take that leap of faith and kind of put myself in an awkward situation with the hope that I will see a positive result. But it doesn't set up that trusting relationship where there's a feeling that candor is available. Instead, there's a feeling of scarcity, which never really creates the bedrock for abundance and for self development and ultimately community development. So, I've done a little bit of thinking about that word deal, and I thought I'd share today's morning meditation on it with you. And I want to invite you, if you'd like to learn more, you're always welcome to opt in to subscribe to my website, or you can actually go to my YouTube and opt in for that as well. And it's easy to remember. They're both called The Marketing Deal, DEAL. So themarketingdeal.com or The Marketing Deal on YouTube. And once again, I'm Diane Curran, and here's hoping you have a great deal to be thankful for and joyful about today. Thanks so much for joining us. Take care.